In the last class, we were learning about divide and conquer technique. In that, we have learned general method of divide and conquer technique. General method will give you the information that the input will be divided into k different subsets, and using this each subset, we are going to solve the problem and find the solution for each subset. Then if required, we have to combine the solution. That is depending on the problem. Okay, depending on the problem. For example, we have discussed binary search. In binary search, while searching, even though we divide the problem into different subsets depending on the mid element, we are not going to find the solution for each subset, right? What we are doing, we are keep on dividing the input until we get the search element, right? So at the end, we are getting the solution. We are not conquering it. We are not combining it. We are not merging the solution in binary search, right? In some cases, we have to merge the solution. You'll come to know in which algorithm we are going to merge the solution. Okay, so today we'll learn one more algorithm, that is finding the maximum and minimum in the given array. So finding the maximum and minimum, this is the straightforward approach for finding the maximum and minimum. So set max to the maximum and min to the minimum of a of 1 to n. That is the work of this algorithm or aim of this algorithm. Okay, what it does, it will assign maximum element to the variable max and minimum element to the variable min, that is from the set of elements a, that is from 1 to n. Okay, here we have array index from 1 to n. So maximum is equal to minimum is equal to a of 1. Initially, what we are considering, first element itself, we are considering it as maximum, and first element itself it is considering as minimum. Okay, because we don't know which one is maximum and which one is minimum in the array. So we are just assuming that first element itself is maximum and minimum. Okay, we are just assigning it. Then we are going to check which one is minimum and which one is maximum. So we have assigned a of 1. So don't check for a of 1. From 2, we have to check. So for I is equal to 2 to n, do if a of I is greater than max. For example, if I is equal to 2, if a of 2 is greater than max, then change the value of max. Assign maximum is equal to a of 2. Okay, if a of I is less than minimum, okay, if you find the value which is less than the min which you have assigned already, then change the value of minimum. Okay, min is equal to a of 2, for example. Okay, so this will continue until all the element get exhausted. So we'll discuss this with an example. So consider this array. In this array, we have 5 elements. That is a of 1 to a of 5. And we have elements 2, 8, 7, 6, and 0. So from this, we have to find the minimum and the maximum. Okay, from this, we have to find minimum and the maximum. So what happens here? Initially, it will assign max is equal to a of 1 and min is equal to a of 1. So max is equal to 2 and min is equal to 2. What is a of 1? A of 1 is 2. I have assigned the element directly, so it is 2. Okay, max is equal to 2, min is equal to 2. Then for I is equal to 2, a of 2. What is a of 2? A of 2 is 8. 8 is greater than 2. Maximum value is 2, right? Max value is 2, min value is 2 initially. So 8 is greater than 2. So condition is true. So change the value of max to a of 2. That is 8. Now max will get the new value. Max is equal to 8. It will check another condition also, whether 8 is less than 2. 8 is not less than 2. What is this 2? 2 is minimum value. 2 is minimum value, which you have assigned to min. Okay. 8 less than 2, it is false. First condition is true, you change the value of max, it becomes 8. Second condition is false. Increment the value of I. I becomes 3. When I becomes 3, next element is 7. 7 greater than 8 is false. 7 less than 2 is also false. Both the condition are false. Go for the next value of 5. I is equal to 4. I will be incremented. It becomes 4. Fourth element is 6. 6 greater than 8 is also false. 6 less than 2 is also false. Right? Then I is equal to 5. 0 greater than 8, it is false. 0 less than 2 is true. So now change the value of min. Now min becomes a of 5, which is equal to 0. Min is equal to 0. I hope you understood the concept. Then again, I value will be incremented. I is equal to 6. So here for loop values varies from 2 to n. That is 2 to 5 here. N is number of elements. 5 here. Okay. So I is equal to 6 means it will terminate. Condition becomes false. It will come out of the loop and it will return the value of max and min. Max is equal to 8 and min is equal to 0 will be returned. I hope you understood. So that is the straightforward approach to finding the maximum and minimum element in the list. Now, how many number of, what is the size of the input here? We have to analyze this algorithm. If you want to analyze this algorithm, we have to check what is the size of the input. Size of the input is n. So input characteristic is n, right? And it depends on the number of elements this loop executes, right? Wherever the maximum and minimum element is there, we have to check the entire array. We have to check the entire array. So we can notice that we found the maximum element in second position itself. And we found the minimum element at the end. But whether we find it at the beginning itself or not, if we find it at the beginning also, we have to check the entire array because we don't know what is the content of the entire array until we check it. So here we need not to find out worst case, best case or average case. So directly check for the basic operation. What is the basic operation here? Basic operation is the comparison. So how many comparison? 2 comparison. That is the basic operation will reside in the innermost loop, right? Innermost loop of the algorithm. So innermost loop is here we have only one loop. In that loop we have 2 comparison. One is less than, another one is greater than. We are going to check that, right? So here 2 comparisons we have. So for each value of 5, 2 comparison will execute. For each value of 5, 2 comparison will execute, right? So it is 2 into n minus 1. What is that n minus 1? Why it is not n? Because we are starting I from 2. We are starting I from 2. We are not starting I from 1. So it will be n minus 1 comparison. So n minus 1 comparison into 2. So 2n minus 2 comparisons required for this. Can we reduce the comparisons here? Yes, we can reduce the comparison. That is, if one condition is true, don't check another condition. We can do that. Okay, so that the number of comparisons get reduced. If one comparison is true, don't check for the another comparison. Obviously, it will be false. For example, in the first case, I is equal to 2. 8 is greater than 2. 8 can't be less than 2. It is not possible. So you need not to check this second condition if the first condition is true. That is when I is equal to 2, 8 is greater than 2, right? 8 is greater than 2, we have assigned max is equal to 8. We have assigned max is equal to 8. Now we need not to check this second one because when it is maximum, it cannot be minimum. I hope you're getting. If first condition is true, don't check the second condition. We can do that. Okay, I hope you understood the concept. So here 2n minus 2 number of comparisons. So it is, I can say that it is linear. So if we have n number of, that is, ignore all the constants here. Okay, so we'll be left with n minus 1. Again, ignore this minus 1 also. So we'll be left with n. If we left with n, we can directly say that it is linear. So when we have n number of elements, we have to check n minus 1 number of times. Okay, so here n minus 1 number of times we have to check. So it is linear. So this is the recursive algorithm for finding maximum and minimum element. We'll discuss this. So algorithm max min. Okay, this is the recursive version of the same algorithm. Okay, but here the number of comparisons will reduce. Okay, that's straightforward approach according to the definition of the algorithm. But here this is a recursive one and we are using divide and conquer approach for this. Okay, we are using divide and conquer approach for this algorithm. So algorithm max min I, j, max, min, 4 variables we are passing. A of 1 to n is a global array. Okay, we are passing a of 1 to n. Okay, so initial value of I will be 1, j will be n. Okay, parameters I and j are integers. I is greater than or equal to 1 and I and j both greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to n. The effect is to set max and min to the largest and smallest values in A of I to j respectively. Okay, initial value of I and j will be 1 and n respectively. In the intermediate calls to the same function, since it is recursive call, intermediate calls to same function will change the value of I and j. Okay, so if I is equal to j, then max is equal to min is equal to A of I. This is small of p. Okay, that is when we have single element. When I will be equal to j, when we have single element. When we have single element, assign that single element to max and min. That itself is the maximum element, that itself is the minimum element. For example, if I have the number 10 in an array, okay, I have only one element, that is 10. So maximum is 10, minimum is also 10 because we have only one element, that is small of p. When we have two elements, that is also small of p. Okay, when we have two elements, that is also small of p. One will be lesser and one will be greater. Okay, one will be lesser and one will be greater. Else if I is equal to j minus 1. Okay, I is equal to j minus 1. That is, for example, we have two values. When we have two values, I will be 1, j will be 2, right? I will be 1, j will be 2 because we have only two values. We have only two values. So I will be 1 and j will be 2. I is equal to 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. I is 1, j minus 1 is also 1. That means we have only two values. So this is another case of small of p. When we have one element, it is small of p. When we have two elements also, that is also small of p. Okay, so if A of I is less than A of j, check these two elements. If A of I is less than A of j, then A of I will be minimum, A of j will be maximum. Okay, if A of I is less than A of j, A of I is lesser, then minimum element is A of I, maximum element is A of j. Okay, else maximum element is equal to A of I, minimum is equal to A of j. Okay, in these two elements, check which is maximum and which is minimum and assign it. Okay, so that is also another small of p. Okay, else, that is when the number of elements is greater than 2. Number of elements is greater than 2. If p is not small, divide p into subproblems. Find where to split the set. Okay, we have to split the set, right? So that is, we have n elements, divide it. Have you divide it? So find the mid element here. Mid is equal to I plus j divided by 2. So solve the subproblems. Solve the subproblems. So maximum, minimum, call the function again. Call the function maxmin again. Pass I comma mid comma maxmin as one set and call the maxmin again with the new values mid plus 1 to j as another set and use max 1 and min 1 for this. Okay, so we are calling maxmin twice here. One with the left array, one with the right array. This is after dividing. Okay, this is after dividing. Divide it. Okay, pass the first half to maxmin and pass the second half also to maxmin. So call it twice. So one is from I to mid, another one is from mid plus 1 to j. And here, instead of using the same variable maxmin, you use max 1 and min 1 to differentiate between these two calls. Okay, to differentiate between these two calls. Once you get max min and max 1 and min 1, okay, combine the solution. So you can notice here we're using combining the solution here, right? If max is less than max 1, if max is less than max 1, then maximum value will be max 1. Okay, if max 1 is equal, max is less than max 1. Less than max 1 means obviously max 1 is greater. In these two call, check which one is maximum and which one is minimum. Okay, these two call will return max value and min value. Right, these two call will return max value and min value. You check which one is maximum and which one is minimum at the end. That is the combining solution here. Okay, so if max is less than max 1, that means max 1 is greater. Max 1 is greater, you change the value of max to max 1. If min is greater than min 1, that means min 1 is smaller. If min is greater than min 1 is smaller, you assign it to min, then return the values of max and min. So since max and min are global variables, so once you assign, it's enough. It is done. Okay, so this is how it works. We'll see how it works with the example. I hope you understood. So when we have single element, it is small of p, assign min is equal to max is equal to same element, and return the, that is terminate the function. Okay, if we have two elements, check which one is maximum and which one is minimum, assign it and terminate the function. Otherwise, divide it. Okay, divide it. Have you divided? Use the mid. Find out the mid element, and up to mid you create one array. After mid you create another array, and on both the arrays you call max and min again. Whatever the output you get from this, combine it at the end. Okay, this is the concept. So consider the example. So here we have 9 elements. So indices varies from 1 to 9. So we have 22, 13, minus 5, minus 8, 15, 60, 17, 31, and 47. Right? So these are the elements. So when we divide this, okay, when we divide this, initially I and j value will be 1 and 9. Okay, initially I and j value will be 1 and 9. It will find out the minimum mid element. How it will find out the mid element? 1 plus 9 divided by 2. Okay, 1 plus 9 divided by 2. 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, so up to 5. From 1 to 5, this is one array. From 6 to 9, it is another array. Okay, you call max min on this also. Okay, you call max min on this. Again, this 1, 5, you are calling max min on this. You're calling max min on this. So now I and j value will change 1 and 5. So 1 plus 5, which is equal to 6. 6 divided by 2, which is equal to 3. So 1 to 3, it is one array, and 4 to 5 is another array. Okay, 4 to 5 is another array. Then what happens in this case? 1 to 3. When it calls 1 to 3, 1 plus 3 divided by 2, 4 by 2, it is equal to 2. 1 to 2, one array. Okay, 3 and 3, another array. 3 to 3, we have only single element. So this is small of p, we have only 2 elements. This is also small of p, we have 1 element. Okay, in this case 1, 2, we have 2 elements. In this case we have only 1 element. Okay, in this case we have only 1 element. So 1 and 2, we have 22 and 13. We have 1 and 2, 22 and 13. Maximum value will be 22 and minimum value will be 13. Okay, in case of this one, that is 3, 3. In case of this one, 3, 3, so we have minus 5. So maximum is also minus 5 and minimum is also minus 5. So on the right side, we have 6, 9. On the right side, we have 6, 9. Again, it will be divided. How it will be divided? 6 plus 9 divided by 2. 6 plus 9 divided by 2. That is 15 divided by 2. 15 divided by 2 is 7. 7.5 you will get. We have to use the floor function. So which is equal to 7. So 6 to 7 one array, 8 to 9 another array. Okay, 6 to 7 one array, 8 to 9 another array. So this is how it will continue. We'll see how it will assign. So while assigning, you can see that this is you can see that. So 1 and 2, it is small of p. Okay, 22 will be assigned to max and 13 will be assigned to min. Okay, and then minus 5 will be assigned to, this is, you can notice that we have given the number of nodes, how it will calculate the max and min. The max and min values assigned here. So this is the first node and this is the second node that gets the value for max and min. Okay, so in the order of generation of max and min, we have given the numbers here for the nodes. Okay, I hope you are getting. So here 22 and 13, 22 will be max and 13 will be min. And minus 5 will be max 1 and minus 5 will be min 1. Now we have to check this 22 and minus 5. 22 and minus 5. 22 is larger, right? So that is the new max. Okay. 13 and minus 5. Minus 5 is the smaller. So that is new min. Okay. So this will be assigned for the this node. That is node number is 3 now. Okay. This is assigned. Then after that. So here 4 and 5. What is 4 and 5 minus? What is 4 and 5 here? Minus 8 and 15. Right? So here 15 will be assigned for max. 15 will be assigned for max and minus 8 will be assigned for min. Now 22 and 15 will be compared. So 22 is greater. So 22 will be assigned. Minus 5 and minus 8 will be compared. Minus 8 is smaller. That will be assigned here. Okay. Then after this, for on the right side, whatever we have, again it is divided, right? When it is divided, we have 6 and 7. What is 6 and 7? 60 and 17 we have. So 60 will be assigned as maximum value and 17 for minimum. On 8 and 9, 31 and 47 we have. 47 is maximum value and 31 is minimum value. Again in these two, 60 and 47 will be compared. 60 and 47 will be compared. 60 is larger. So maximum element is 60. 17 and 31 will be compared. 17 is smaller. So 17 will be assigned here. Okay. Then in the next call, 22 and 60 will be compared. 22 and 60 will be compared. So 60 is larger. So 60 will be assigned as max. Minus 8 and 17 will be compared. Minus 8 is smaller. So that will be assigned as min. And this is the last recursive. That is, this is the first recursive call which gets terminated at the end. Okay. This is actually first recursive call. This is terminated at the end and it has got the value 60 and minus 8. I hope you understood this concept. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, so we'll continue with the analysis. So this is the tree of recursive calls made by max min function. This is how we can find out the maximum and minimum element. So we have seen that for the straightforward approach, it was 2 into n minus 1 number of comparison. Let's see how many number of comparisons this will take. Okay, now what is the number of element comparison needed for max min? If T of n represents this number, that is number of the element comparison, then the resulting recurrence relation, since it is a recursive function, we have to write the recurrence relation. We have already learned about this. We have learned this. So we are applying that. Okay. So if T of n is equal to 2, when n is equal to 2, how many number of comparison? We need one comparison, right? You can see the function. You can see the function. So when we have when we have n is equal to 2, one number of comparison, that is if a of I is less than a of j, element comparison it is. Okay, it is element comparison, not the index comparison. Okay, we are not talking about index comparison, we are talking about element comparison. Okay, a of I is less than a of j, that is when n is equal to 2, when we have two number of elements, we are comparing ones. When we have one number of element, we are not comparing. We are not comparing the elements because we have only one element. We are just checking the index here. Okay, if I is equal to j, it is not element comparison. We are checking the index here. Okay, so when n is equal to 1, that is when we have only one element, 0 number of comparison. When we have two elements, 1 number of comparison. Okay, so when we have n is equal to 2, 1 number of comparison. I hope you are getting. When we have n is equal to 2, we have only one number of comparison. When we have n is equal to 1, we have 0 number of comparisons. Okay. When n is greater than 2, we have to divide the array. So it is t of n by 2 plus t of n by 2 plus 2. Why it is plus 2? Plus 2 is for when the element is divided into smaller one. Okay, when it becomes smaller, we need this plus 2 also. That is when the number of elements is equal to 1, when number of elements becomes 1 after dividing, or number of elements becomes 2 after dividing. So we need this plus 2. Okay, so t of n by 2 plus t of n by 2 plus 2. Why it is t of n by 2 twice? Because we are dividing the array into 2, each having n by 2 number of elements. Okay, then how to solve this? I told you, when the input is getting divided by half of it, or if it is getting division by the fraction of the number of elements, then use the fraction. So here fraction is 2. Fraction is 2. Input is getting divided by 2, right? So put n is equal to 2 to the power of k. So t of 2 to the power of k, that is t of n is equal to t of n by 2 plus t of n by 2 plus 2. It becomes t of 2 to the power of k minus 1 plus t of 2 to the power of k minus 1 plus 2, which is equal to 2 into t to the power of t of 2 to the power of k minus 1 plus 2. Substitute t of 2 to the power of k minus 1 is equal to 2 into t of 2 to the power of k minus 2 plus 2. So we'll get 2 into, so in place of, I have marked with red. Okay, only in place of t of 2 to the power of k minus 1, you substitute. Your remaining will be as it is. So 2 into, outside we have 2 into, you write it as it is. Again into 2 t of 2 to the power of k minus 2 plus 2. Outside we have another plus 2. Add it as it is. So it becomes 2 into 2, 2 square. T of 2 to the power of k minus 2 plus 2 into 2, 2 square. Remaining is 2 plus 2. Okay, again substitute t of 2 to the power of k minus 2 is equal to 2 into t of 2 to the power of k minus 3 plus 2. So we'll get 2 square into 2t of 2 to the power of k minus 3 plus 2 plus 2 square plus 2, which is equal to 2 cube into t of 2 to the power of k minus 3 plus 2 cube plus 2 square plus 2. So in general, for I substitution, we'll get 2 to the power of I into t of 2 to the power of k minus I plus 2 to the power of I plus so on up to 2 to the power of 1. So when we try to solve this, 2 to the power of I into t of 2 to the power of k minus I plus 2 to the power of I to 2 to the power of 0. So here we don't have 2 to the power of 0, but for the formula I need this. So I'm adding 1 and subtracting 1. 2 to the power of 0 plus 2 to the power of 0 minus 2 to the power of 0. So this entire thing which is in red, that is 2 to the power of I to 2 to the power of 0, it is 2 to the power of I plus 1. Okay, 2 to the power of I into t of 2 to the power of k minus I, that is from the previous equation, I'm writing it as it is, plus 2 to the power of I plus 1 minus 2 to the power of 0. Now I want to get the initial condition. I don't want that 0. That's why I'm putting in, I want to get n is equal to 2. This is the initial condition. Okay, this is the initial condition. I don't want that for 0. I want it for 2, because for small of p is when n is equal to 2 also. This is the largest number. So I'm taking n is equal to 2. So assign this value. I want to get this value. N is equal to 2. So I'm going to put I is equal to k minus 1. So when we put I is equal to k minus 1, we'll get 2 to the power of k minus 1 into t of 2 to the power of k minus k plus 1 plus 2 to the power of k minus 1 plus 1 minus 2 to the power of 0. It becomes 2 to the power of k minus 1 into t of 2, that is 2 to the power of 1. It is t of 2, then plus 2 to the power of k minus 1, which is equal to 2 to the power of k divided by 2 into 1 plus 2 to the power of k minus 1, which is equal to n by 2 plus n minus 1, 3n divided by 2 minus 1. So you can notice here, it is less than the previous one. It was 2n minus 2 number of comparison. Now it is 3n divided by 2 minus 1. So this function is better than that. Okay, so let's end the class. Thank you. If you have any doubts, you can ping me. Okay, thank you.